When it comes to New Yorkers, it looks like making a Harry's little bubble has finally burst. They are a couple of unwelcome imports who got to New York this week. Now, I'm sure that you have heard about Harry and Meghan's big night in the city. According to the couple themselves, they suffer through a great ordeal. I mean, it was a near catastrophic car chase with paparazzi following them the whole way. Well, there's only one problem, according to other sources, including the NYPD and the taxi driver. The truth is quite different. Every New Yorker out there is well aware that any kind of car chase, let alone a 2-hour car chase, is literally impossible in the city. I mean, you could sit in traffic for 2 hours, definitely. But actually racing through the city for 2 hours, police. It isn't possible. Every single New Yorker out there can call that out as a big load of BS. And now we have the footage to prove it. So there's a video of the exchange. And that shows Meghan and Harry were accompanied by the NYPD. And they really weren't moving at any speed at all. The fact is, they were moving so slowly that their driver actually was able to get out of the car at one point. Another thing that we've got to consider is how in the world can these big stars like Robert De Niro and Al Pacino and Barbra Streisand and all the other celebrities who are often in New York, how do they get around? How do they eat out in the very best restaurants? How do they go to the theater? How do they walk down the street? And we never hear a word about it. A high-speed car chase or whatever. You can probably walk faster. The most traffic in New York moves. The two of them are so sickening in their desperate need to be seen and get any attention for themselves. They don't care if it's negative or. So it looks like this little stop in New York was just a stop on their worldwide privacy tour. The question I have, though, is how is Meghan receiving all of these awards? I mean, she has to be paying a lot of money for them. I would assume she's just a zealous mattress actress who manipulated people who are not very intelligent. I mean, she did that with the royal family. She chose the weakest link so that she could get some money and some fame for herself. I do not see the attraction, though. I don't understand why anybody would be interested in making. And I don't think they. And why do they bother telling so many lies in the land of Harry and Meghan? Everything is so dramatic. Everything is exaggerated and filled with lies. They are the most privacy-seeking publicity seekers that ever walked this earth. But I think they made a mistake in messing with New York. One of the best things about the city and its inhabitants is that the city is not easily impressed. See, in New York, that kind of nonsense is never going to fly. People are pretty direct there, and they don't care for people like Meghan and Harry. Nobody has time for them. This was definitely the wrong city for Meghan and Harry to choose to set their big scene. But most likely, it was just all staged for the next installment of their stupid Netflix doc-series. Anyway, it seems to me like Meghan is continuing her audition to be celebrated as the most hard-done-by person in this world. Whether it's the fact that she didn't attend the coronation or she doesn't have enough houses, there is no sorrow. Like Meghan's sorrow, Meghan's fallout with her own family, and her in-laws has to be everybody else's fault. But in fact, it is the fault of Meghan and Harry themselves because they're always trying to plant made-up stories. They're making these ridiculous claims, and they always try to get attention, and then they turn around and act like they are so angry that anybody's paying attention to them. Their little tricks are not working anymore. I don't think they ever did. But at this point, people know what's going on. It looks to me like their little show has run out of gas. It has stalled at this point. You know, in New York, people don't want to be associated with that kind of behavior. New York City is home to many celebrities and they want to live normal lives. They don't want to be surrounded by a bunch of drama all the time. Now, of course, they're going to be polite to Meghan and Harry, but they are not going to tolerate their nonsense. We never hear about any of the other celebrities who live in New York having these sorts of problems. I mean, maybe there are a few troublemakers like James Corden. But anyway, poor behavior should not be rewarded. It's not that complicated. And Kurt never wanted to stay in New York anyway, because he was into all kinds of stuff like drugs and alcohol. So he moved over there to do what he wanted to do without having to face any consequences. Or so he thought. But the thing about it is, a bad reputation is going to follow you like a bad smell. And there's no acceptance anywhere in this world for poor manners, and especially to waitresses. You know, Meghan and Harry are just a couple of clowns. They truly are a waste of space and oxygen. And who wants to use James Corden as a nighttime TV host? He is such a mess. He thought that he could just run away from his problems and blame his problems on other people and other things. But unfortunately for him, his problems followed. You know, Meghan and Harry sort of remind me of a talentless Laurel and Hardy. At least they were talented. But Meghan and Harry don't have any talent. I remember when I was a child, I used to laugh so hard at their antics. On Saturday mornings, Laurel and Hardy were great in the comedy department. Meghan and Harry, though, are a couple of delusional idiots, and they just love to get attention for themselves. And I think this whole latest attention-seeking saga and the insistence of a motorcade is all down to. Back to the award. Though, Meghan did not do anything to earn that award, come on. She keeps getting all these awards, which convinces me that she's paying people to give her these awards. I'm sure of it. It's already been determined that Meghan and Harry only do an hour per week of charity work. And most of that is discounting the money that has been donated. And, Meghan, deciding the maximum that she can put in her pocket and the minimum that she can actually donate. According to news reports, the actual donations in 2022 lost out to personal bank account donations and their accounts. Of course, I do not understand how that is legal. I mean, to refer to your charity as a charity, you're